If you've driven past an RV dealership lately, you've probably noticed something strange. The lots are packed. Not with a few units here and there, but rows and rows of nearly identical motorhomes, many with prices slashed by 30, 40, even 50%. In 2025, close to 3 million late-model RVs have flooded the resale market. We're not talking about beat-up repos from 10 years ago. These are 2022, 2023, 2024 models. Some have less than 2,000 miles on them, and they're selling at wholesale auctions for half of what they cost new just 18 months ago. So what happened? How did the industry go from record sales to desperate liquidation in less than 3 years? That's what we're going to break down today, because if you're thinking about buying or selling an RV right now, this situation is going to affect you directly.
Let's start with the scale of this, because until you see the actual numbers, it's hard to believe how big this really is. According to industry shipping data, RV shipments in May 2025 were up 11.8% year over year. That sounds like good news, right? Except those shipments aren't going to happy customers. They're going to already overloaded dealer lots and straight to auction houses. At Manheim and Odessa auctions across the Midwest, RV listings have more than doubled compared to this time last year. A 2023 Class C that had a retail sticker of $125,000 is now struggling to get bids above $80,000. That's a 36% drop. And in many cases, even at those prices, they're not selling. Meanwhile, if you check RV Trader or similar sites right now, you'll find thousands of listings with phrases like must sell, price to move, or below invoice. Dealers in Florida and Texas are reporting sales down 40% from last spring. In northern Indiana, where most of these rigs are manufactured, entire dealerships have quietly closed their doors. The resale market has essentially collapsed. A motorhome that was worth $120,000 in 2023 might fetch $80,000 today if you're lucky. For owners who finance these purchases with 10 or 15-year loans, they now owe more than the RV is worth. A lot more. To understand how we ended up with 3 million excess RVs, you have to go back to 2020 and 2021. During the pandemic lockdowns, RV sales went through the roof. Families couldn't travel internationally. They couldn't even go to hotels safely, but they could buy a motorhome and create their own mobile bubble. Campgrounds were open, national parks were accessible. For a brief period, the RV lifestyle went from niche hobby to mainstream solution. Manufacturers couldn't build them fast enough. Production facilities in Elkhart, Indiana ran double shifts. Dealers signed multi-year purchase agreements, assuming the surge was permanent. Buyers lined up with stimulus checks and rock-bottom interest rates, sometimes paying over sticker price just to get a unit. Between 2020 and 2021, industry shipments jumped more than 11% year over year. That's a massive increase for an industry that typically grows 2 to 3% annually. And everyone treated it like the new normal. But here's what nobody wanted to admit. That demand wasn't organic. It was crisis-driven and government-subsidized. When the stimulus check stopped, when interest rates started climbing, when gas hit $4 and then $5 a gallon, all those new RV owners started doing the math. A $100,000 motorhome might cost $800 a month to finance. Add in insurance, storage, maintenance, and fuel, and you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 a month just to own something you might use 2 weeks a year. For families already stretched thin by inflation, those payments became impossible to justify. Sales started dropping in late 2022. By 2023, they'd fallen off a cliff. But here's the problem. Manufacturers had already ramped up production. Factories had hired hundreds of workers. Suppliers had expanded operations. Purchase agreements were already signed. So the assembly lines kept running even as dealer lots filled up. And when dealers couldn't sell what they had, they stopped ordering more. But the pipeline was already full. Hence the flood.
Most people don't understand how RV dealerships actually work financially. They operate on something called floor plan financing. Essentially, a bank loans the dealership money to stock their lot. The dealer pays interest on that loan every single day until the unit sells. In good times, RVs sell quickly, and that interest is minimal. But when sales stall, those interest charges add up fast. According to leaked internal memos from several Midwestern dealer groups,
floor plan interest rates have roughly tripled since 2021. The Federal Reserve raised rates aggressively to fight inflation, and those costs passed straight through to dealers. A single unsold motorhome sitting on a lot can cost a dealer $20 to $50 per day in floor plan interest. Multiply that by 50 or 100 units, and you're talking about tens of thousands of dollars in monthly carrying costs before you sold a single RV. When lenders see too many units sitting unsold for too long, they start demanding curtailments. That means the dealer has to either pay down the loan immediately or start liquidating inventory. And liquidating means selling below cost just to free up cash. That's why you're seeing these massive price cuts. It's not generosity, it's financial survival. Dealers are hemorrhaging money every day these units sit unsold, and they'd rather take a $10,000 or $20,000 loss now than watch interest charges eat them alive over the next 6 months.
If you want to see the true state of the market, spend a morning at an RV auction. At regional wholesale auctions from Indiana to Florida, you'll see rows of nearly new coaches lined up under fluorescent lights. The auctioneer moves through VIN numbers at a rapid pace. Bids come in low, reserves aren't met, units get passed. Last summer, auction clearance rates for RVs averaged around 80%. This spring, according to auction house data, they're running closer to 65%. That means 1 in 3 RVs that go through the lanes doesn't even sell. The ones that do sell are going for shocking prices. Screenshots from Manheim listings show 2023 and 2024 models selling 30 to 40% below NADA book value. A Class A diesel pusher with a $200,000 original sticker might hammer at $120,000. A compact Class C that retailed for $90,000 goes for $55,000. And who's buying? Mostly smaller dealers looking for inventory they can flip, and a handful of savvy private buyers who know what to look for. The big dealership chains, the ones with floor plan credit lines and reputations to protect, are staying away. They've got enough inventory problems already. What's particularly telling is the condition of these units. Many of them are essentially new, full warranties still in effect, less than 5,000 miles, no visible damage. They're being sold purely because there's no retail market for them right now at any reasonable price. The auction inventory isn't just coming from dealers trying to clear aged stock. A significant portion is repossessions and manufacturer buybacks. During the boom years, banks were happy to write RV loans to pretty much anyone with decent credit. 10-year notes, 15-year notes, low introductory rates that adjusted upward after a few years. At the time, with values climbing, it seemed safe. But as rates rose and resale values dropped, those loans turned toxic. Owners who financed $100,000 at 3.5% suddenly faced adjusted rates of 7% or 8%. Their monthly payments jumped by hundreds of dollars. And when they tried to refinance or sell, they discovered they owed $90,000 on an RV that was now worth $60,000. According to data from several national lenders, RV loan delinquencies have increased substantially since early 2024. Repos are up across the board. And unlike car repos, where the lender might recover 70% of the loan endowments, RV repos are recovering 50% or less. On top of that, you've got manufacturer repurchases. These are units where owners experienced significant warranty issues and the manufacturer, rather than fight a lemon law claim, agreed to repurchase the RV. In some states, consumer protection laws make it relatively easy for buyers to trigger these buyback provisions if they have recurring problems within the first year or two of ownership. Several major manufacturers have reportedly processed hundreds of buyback claims in 2025 alone. Those units get refurbished if needed, then sent back to auction or offered to dealers at steep discounts. They're supposed to be disclosed as manufacturer repurchases, but in practice, once they've been cleaned and detailed, they look identical to any other low-mileage used RV. All of this, the repos, the buybacks, the dealer liquidations, it feeds into the same supply glut. Every unit that hits the auction floor drags down the average price a little more, which makes the problem worse for everyone still trying to sell at retail. If you want to see the human cost of this collapse, look at northern Indiana. Elkhart and surrounding counties are the heart of RV manufacturing in America. For decades, these communities have built their economies around the industry. Entire families work in the factories. Suppliers make everything from cabinetry to axles to windows. When the RV business is good, these towns thrive. But over the past year, that's changed dramatically. Warn notices, which are required when companies lay off large numbers of workers, have been filed repeatedly across Elkhart and LaGrange counties. Hundreds of factory workers have been let go. Suppliers have shut down operations. Drive through these areas now and you'll see facilities with temporarily closed signs that everyone knows won't reopen. The coffee shops that used to fill up during shift changes are empty. The hardware stores and lunch counters that depended on factory workers are struggling. It's a cascading effect. Fewer factory jobs mean fewer paychecks circulating in the local economy. Fewer paychecks mean less spending. Less spending means more business closures. And those business closures mean even less reason for the factories to ramp back up. Beyond the immediate economic impact, there's a practical concern for RV owners nationwide: parts availability. When suppliers shut down, replacement parts become harder to source. A repair that might have taken a week in 2022 now takes months because the specific window or water pump or electrical panel is backordered indefinitely. That affects not just new RV buyers, but anyone who owns one, regardless of when they bought it. If you're considering buying an RV right now, the prices might look tempting, and in many cases, there are legitimate deals to be found. But you need to be careful, because not every discounted RV is actually a good deal. One major concern is flood-damaged or weather-damaged units being cleaned up and resold. After every hurricane season, insurance companies total out thousands of RVs. Those units are supposed to get salvage titles, but in practice, some of them end up getting washed through title transfers between states and reappear on the market with clean paperwork. These rigs might look fine on the surface. Fresh paint, detailed interior, no obvious damage. But water intrusion creates long-term problems: mold in the insulation, corroded wiring, warped flooring under the carpet. By the time you discover it, you're 6 months in and the seller is long gone. The best protection is to check the VIN through the National Motor Vehicle Title Information System. It's not foolproof, but it'll flag vehicles with salvage or flood history in many cases. Also consider bringing a moisture meter to any inspection. Check around windows, slide-outs, and floor seams. Any soft spots or elevated moisture readings are red flags. Another issue is deferred maintenance on repos and trade-ins. When someone knows they're losing an RV to repossession, they're not exactly motivated to keep up with oil changes and tire rotations. You might be buying a unit with 3,000 miles that's already overdue for significant service work. Always insist on a pre-purchase inspection by someone who knows RVs specifically, not just a general mechanic. There are mobile RV inspection services that will come to the dealership or auction and go through everything systematically. It'll cost you a few $100s, but it can save you thousands in problems later. And finally, be wary of dealers who are desperate to move inventory. Pressure tactics, too good to be true pricing, vague answers about service history. These are all signs that something might be wrong. A good deal doesn't require you to make a decision in the next 2 hours. For buyers, this market actually represents a real opportunity, but only if you approach it correctly. First, do your research on fair market value. Sites like NADA Guides, JD Power, and Black Book will give you average wholesale and retail prices for specific makes and models. Then, check recent auction results if you can access them. That'll show you what dealers are actually paying before they add their markup. Let's say you're looking at a 2023 Class C with 5,000 miles. Retail book might say $95,000, but if you see that same year and model going through auctions at $70,000, you know the dealer probably has $70,000 to $75,000 in it after transport and prep. That means anything over $80,000 is probably negotiable. Timing matters too. Dealers are most motivated to sell at specific times of year. Late winter, before spring inventory arrives, is traditionally a good window. Early fall, when new model years hit the lot, is another. Right now, with the market in chaos, almost any time is decent if you're paying attention. Cash gives you leverage, but don't show your cards too early. Finance companies allow dealers to mark up interest rates and earn back-end commissions. If you announce you're paying cash up front, you lose that negotiating angle. Wait until you've agreed on a price, then mention cash to see if they'll discount further. Finally, get everything in writing. Every fee, every promise, every warranty detail. If they say something's included, make sure it's on the paperwork. If they promise a repair before delivery, get a signed statement specifying what will be done and by when. The deals are out there. You just have to be methodical and patient.
If you currently own an RV and you're thinking about selling, the news isn't great. But there are ways to minimize your losses. First, understand that private party sales are almost impossible right now. Potential buyers see the dealer liquidations and auction prices. Why would they pay you $85,000 when they can get something similar from a desperate dealer for $70,000? You're competing against businesses that are willing to lose money just to clear inventory. Your best bet might actually be trading it in, even though trade values are terrible. At least you avoid the hassle of marketing, showing, and dealing with financing for a private buyer. And you can sometimes negotiate the trade value as part of a larger deal if you're buying something else. If you absolutely need to sell privately, price it aggressively. Look at what dealers are asking for similar units and go 10 to 15% lower. Yes, you'll take a bigger loss, but you'll actually sell it instead of having it sit in storage, racking up monthly fees. Be honest about condition. This isn't the time to hide problems. Any buyer with sense is going to get an inspection anyway, and if they find issues you didn't disclose, they'll walk. Better to price it fairly for what it is than to waste time with buyers who feel deceived. And if you're underwater on your loan, meaning you owe more than it's worth, you might need to bring cash to the closing to pay off the difference. It's painful, but sometimes cutting your losses quickly is better than paying insurance, storage, and loan interest on something you're not using while hoping the market recovers. Unfortunately, most analysts don't expect meaningful recovery for at least 2 to 3 years. The supply glut is that severe. So, where does this go from here? Industry forecasts for the next 6 to 12 months show production continuing to outpace demand. That means more inventory piling up, more pressure on dealers, more liquidations and price cuts. Repossessions are likely to increase as adjustable rate loans reset higher and owners with thin equity decide to walk away rather than keep paying. Each repo adds to the auction supply, which pushes prices down further, which creates more negative equity situations. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. Some smaller dealerships will probably close. They can't survive extended periods of negative cash flow, and their floor plan lenders won't carry them indefinitely. When they liquidate, their inventory hits the market at distressed prices, making things worse for everyone else. The manufacturers will eventually cut production, but that's a slow process. They've got supplier contracts, labor agreements, and facility costs that can't just be turned off overnight. Elkhart's factory slowdowns are the beginning of that adjustment, but it'll take months or years to fully rebalance supply with demand. One thing that could change the trajectory would be another major economic shock that drives people back to RVs, maybe another pandemic, maybe a travel disruption that makes domestic road trips attractive again. But that's speculation, and it's not something you'd want to bet on. More likely, we're in for a long, slow grind. Prices will probably stabilize at some point in 2026 once enough inventory is cleared and production has genuinely slowed, but a return to 2021 pricing, that's not happening anytime soon. For the industry, this is a painful but probably necessary correction. The pandemic boom created unrealistic expectations. Manufacturers expanded beyond sustainable levels, dealers overordered, buyers overextended. Now everyone's paying the price. The RV lifestyle isn't going away. There's still a core market of enthusiasts who genuinely use and love their rigs. But the industry is returning to its pre-pandemic size, and that means fewer manufacturers, fewer dealers, and a more disciplined approach to production and sales. If you're in the market right now, whether buying or selling, just go in with realistic expectations. The deals are real if you're buying. The losses are real if you're selling.
But either way, understanding what's actually happening puts you in a better position than just hoping things work out. Have you seen these liquidation sales at dealerships near you? Are prices in your area dropping as fast as the national numbers suggest? Drop a comment below and let everyone know what you're seeing locally. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that subscribe button. We'll keep tracking the situation as it develops over the next few months. Things are changing fast, and you'll want to stay informed if you're anywhere near this market. Thanks for watching.